Hello everyone, welcome to Favorite Rugby on Fair Sports for today's preview as the Scarlets host the Lions in the second round of the United Rugby Championship, which kicks off tonight. Same time as the Bulls versus Connacht game, so as a South Africa fan, a little bit frustrating that two of the four games we really want to watch this weekend are happening at the same time. But it is what it is, and the Lions actually looking to try and go 2 from 2 after their victory against Zebra last weekend, but they will find the going much, much tougher up against a very, very good Scarlet side, which boasts some pretty phenomenal players, if we're going to be very brutally honest. And none other than, 6 times Lions cap centre Jonathan Davies, who will captain the side tonight. So it should be a really big test for the men from Johannesburg who, got off to a decent start against URC, and against Zebra in the URC. And I thought that it was a game which, the Lions would look back and think that they really sort of allowed Zebra into the second half. And they can't afford to do that. But Scarlets actually going down to Edinburgh last weekend, so looking to try and sort of bounce back from that. So who would have thought that, if you looked at this fixture originally, there will be the Lions coming in with a bit of momentum. But it will be a much sterner task. And you know what? As a Lions fan, I think the fact that we've got one victory under the belt is very useful. But it is a Lions side that is looking a lot better. I'll give it one that much at the moment. You look at the Currie Cup, a lot of players missing, a lot of players unavailable. The Lions side last weekend looked a lot stronger than we have seen in recent times. And they will have to be at their best if they want to try and get a result today. But it should be an interesting game. And I think that there's some very interesting matchups. And I think, the centers being probably, the biggest one. But if we look at the sides themselves, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the home side, and which is the Scarlets, and a couple of names will sort of jump off the paper there. In the front row, Rob Evans, Ryan Elias, and Wilgriff John will pack down. Wilgriff John has actually it's his debut today. He has joined Scarlets from Sale Sharks. And South African fans remember Ryan Elias. He actually scored in that defeat against Wales back in 2018 over in Washington during the sort of start of the Rassie Erasmus era. And he's got about 17 and 18 caps for Wales. Very experienced player as well. 26 years old, so sort of coming to his prime. So he'll be a bit of a threat in the middle of that scrum. Then you got Jack Price and Tom Price as the two locks there. And then your back row for the Scarlets are Blade Thompson, Dan Davis, Simon Kalamafani. But it's the backline for me which sort of really does scare me quite a lot, because there's a lot of, it's mostly the centers, to be honest, when you look at the experience and the class of the two centers there. But it's a very interesting halfback combination. You've got Kieran Hardy, who partners 20-year-old Sam Costello, who I think is a very exciting player and somebody who's worth keeping your eye on. Very, very new to the game. I think he turned 21 in January, so he's still just 20 years old. He had a couple of caps for Leicester Tigers about 2 years ago. He's already played about 10 games for Scarlets as well, so he's not, I wouldn't say completely new to the scene, but very much an up-and-coming fly half. And he comes into the side this week ahead of Dan Jones. But the two wings will be Steph Evans and Tom Rogers, and then it's the centers of Scott Williams and Jonathan Davies. And you look at the pedigree between them. Scott Williams, over 50 caps for Wales, over 135 caps for Scarlets. An incredible player, and the weird thing is he's not even probably the best center in the two pairing, because you then have Jonathan Davies, who's next to him. And this Jonathan Davies went on 2 British Lions tours. Arguably, he could have gone on this one as well. Played 6 tests. He's played almost 90 tests for Wales. Phenomenal operator. He will captain the side, and that's exactly sort of what you want in a team is, players in big positions and lots of experience. And I think that's what Jonathan Davies versus Wandisile Similani will be a very exciting clash today, because Similani, in my opinion, I think most people will agree, is a future Springbok. And if he wants to be a Springbok, if he wants to sort of go to the highest level, you need to be able to play against the best. Doesn't get much better than Jonathan Davies. And then we've got Johnny McNichol at the back. Off the Jones for Scarlets, Mark Jones, Phil Price, Samson Lee will be the reserve front row. The rest of the bench will be Morgan Jones, Sean Evans, Dane Black. Dan Jones started last weekend, number 10, and Ione Nicholas. In terms of the Lions, if you watched last weekend, then it's the exact same side. So the Lions that featured last weekend, they have not changed a single player in the entire 23, which is very unusual for any side to sort of continue with that much sort of continuity. But if we're looking at the front row, Ruandrea, Yakovasaki, Carly Sardi, I was very, very impressed with Yakovasaki last weekend. Really to put his hand up, scored a very nice try. but was everywhere. A couple of very important turnovers, and he did really sort of rise to the occasion. Ruben Schoolman and Peter Janssen-Vuren will be the two locks. Peter Janssen-Vuren obviously on loan from the Pumas, so it will be just his second game in a Lions jersey. And then the very exciting loose trio of Jaco Kriel, Vince Tuka, and Frankie Horn, which I think's finally got a very nice balance to it. You've got the pace and the ability over the board of Jaco Kriel and work rate. You then got the physicality of Vince Tuka and his really good ball carrying ability. And then Frankie Horn, who's already captain the side of the Currie Cup, very good leader, very young player, nice and physical as well, got decent hands as well. So it's a nice loose trio. And then you've got Andre Warner, who partners the very exciting Jordan Hendricks, who I thought kicked very well last weekend. Just genuinely for touch, he's got a very big boot. Very confident player, also 20 years old. So, I mean, we could be seeing two 20-year-olds who could maybe one day play against each other in national colours. You never know. So that'll be a very interesting clash. Two 20-year-olds facing off the fly half. In many people's opinions, the most important position on the park. As the sort of the general and the guy that sort of navigates the entire team. And both very inexperienced. But the two wings, Raz Baklana, he scored tries for fun last week. He was running so well, so much pace. Man of the match, the first ever man of the match in the URC. So in terrific form is Maklana. And then you've got Jumbo Elenga on the other wing. Brings a lot more sort of bulk, not necessarily as fast, not really slow, but very bulky, very physical, and quite tough to bring down. Burger Oudendal captain the side once again, and then the very exciting Wandisile Simonani at outside centre, who always seems to be able to find a gap, find an offload, and get his team on the front foot. EW will be the full back. Off the bench, Peter Buerta, Steve Tole, and then youngster Asanata and Klabakanya, the massive tight head. Brings a lot of weight, does, in Klabakanya. A very exciting player as well. Then you've got Rand Northnachel and Sibasiso Sangweni, two very promising youngsters. Sangweni, I think about 20 or 21 years old at the moment. Morne van den Berg, a bit of a live wire scrum half. Eddie Forshire on loan from the Pumas had a very good season. He was actually at the Lions before then, so having a bit of a second bite at the cherry for the Joburg franchise. And then Divan Rousseau, we haven't seen much of coming from the Bulls, will be the reserve full back. Very, very interesting to see how the Lions go against such an experienced outfit and some very, very good international pedigree players in the Scarlets jersey. Not a lot of international pedigree in the Lions at the moment, but a lot of exciting youngsters. And I'm very interested to see how sort of the coaching staff, whether we start seeing the difference in some of the new sort of coaching staff in terms of how they play, how they defend, and how they go about their business. But let me know what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. Smash like on the video as well. My name is Steven. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you soon.